Volleyball wins the Ohio Valley Conference. Both basketball teams continue to struggle in non-conference play, and football does something to Alabama that none of the Tide's other opponents could do. Hi, my name is Gabe Newman, and here's everything you missed during Thanksgiving break on this week's edition of the EIU Sports Weekly Catchup. EIU Volleyball capped off a perfect home record by hosting and winning the OVC tournament. It took until the final day for the Panthers to lock up the 1 seed and the ability to host. Tennessee Tech shocked the Panthers with a straight set victory in dominant fashion in the penultimate game of the season, and after losing the first set of the next day in the final game of the season, it was looking like we were in for an EIU bottle job. However, the Panthers locked in and won the next 3 sets to clinch a 3-1 win and the regular season co-championship. Eastern finished tied with Morehead State for first place, but because the Panthers had the tiebreaker due to the big series sweep of the Eagles a couple of weeks ago, it was the Panthers that hosted the volleyball championships. So they got to host the OVC tournament at the new Gardella Family Court. Eastern took the court against Lindenwood in the first round in front of a loud home crowd, but the Panthers struggled against the Lions. Errors plagued Eastern as Lindenwood won the first and the fourth sets to set up a nervy fifth and decisive final set. Eastern was able to close it out, though, in dramatic fashion, winning 15-7 in the fifth for a hard-fought victory. The Panthers had survived in advance to the semifinals of the OVC tournament. The next day, Eastern prepared for 4-seed SEMO, and in a tournament that ended up being all chalk, the Panthers cruised past the Redhawks in 4 sets. Destiny Walker led with 20 kills, her 5th match this season with 20 or more kills. Lily Amidas added 17, and Emma Schroeder shined in the middle with 11 kills and 9 blocks. Catalina Roshikes eclipsed the 50-assist mark for the 4th time this season. She had 51. So it was set up for a rematch of the electric series we saw at McAfee just a couple of weeks ago. Number 1 against number 2, the Panthers against Morehead State. Fans packed the barn for the championship match, and based on how the previous 4 games had gone in the season, many were expecting a close 5-setter. However, Eastern won the first set, then won another set, and after the 2 comfortable victories in the first 2 sets and the Eagles' backs against the wall, the Panthers were surely in for a tough 3rd set. However, powered by the good, better, best mentality, the Panthers and the Chicago Bears both ended up beating on teams called the Eagles last week. Eastern held off the Eagles in set 3 as well, using 4 straight points to seal it, and the Panthers, after a season of coaching turmoil and drama, became champions of the Ohio Valley Conference in their new home gym in Ryan Millar's first season as a head coach. Winning the tournament MVP was Lily Amidas. She's also the first Daily Eastern News Panther of the week, while Emma Schroeder and Catalina Roshikes were named to the all-tournament team. The confetti filled the air as the Panthers celebrated their victory. Some Panthers had an ear-to-ear smile, others fought back tears as the realization of the team's achievement kicked in. One person who looked like a very tall kid in a candy store was Ryan Millar, who was gratified at the effort of the players.
All right, OVC champion, your first season, what does it mean to you?
I mean, to me, it does, look, it's amazing for me personally, but for how much it means to me personally compared to how much I care about it meaning to the girls is like 1,000 times. This team was never about me. I'm just the guy playing chess and trying to get the pieces in the right spot. But I can do that all I want, and without the girls doing what they do, nothing happens. So everything that just happened over the course of these last 3 days was all on them. So
how much does this mean to them?
I think it's got to mean a ton. I mean, we put in so much work this year. We talked about this moment. I mean, even from day 1 in the preseason, we talked about this moment. And for them to actually come and do it, I think means so much. I mean, obviously we've got some seniors on this team and heavy contributors that were amazing tonight, like Lily, MVP, obvious MVP. She was lights out the entire tournament. I think it just means so much to them. We did not want this to be our last match. And I got to give huge props to McAfee, the Gardella family court, Joe Gardella, everybody that made this gym possible for us this season. I don't know how confident I'm saying this because the girls could surprise me, but if we didn't host here, that would have been a heck of a lot harder. So the fact that we were here in our gym was massive, and we knew that. So just super, super happy for the girls.
So it meant that the Panthers were going dancing for the second time in the last 3 years. The team gathered at Granagoo Arena to watch the selection show and erupted in joy when Eastern's name was called as the opponent of the Wisconsin Badgers. Eastern faces the 9-time Big Ten champs and 2021 national champions on Thursday at 7 p.m. Men's basketball played 2 games last week and made a little program history. On Tuesday, the Panthers traveled to Blaze Central, Arkansas. Still shorthanded from ongoing injuries, the Panthers struggled to get into the game and found themselves trailing 30-4 with just under 9 minutes to go until halftime. Eastern fought back, led by Zion Frooster's 21 points, but it wasn't enough as the Panthers fell 81-60. Black Friday marked the first time in the program's history that the Panthers faced off against the top-ranked team in the country. Eastern squared off against Purdue for a Friday matinee. The Panthers hung with the Boilermakers for about 10 minutes into the first half before Purdue changed up its defensive look and started pulling away. Eastern lost the game 109-62. Women's basketball played 3 games in as many days at the Louisville MTE. On Wednesday, the Panthers packed the bus and started towards Kentucky, arriving in time to enjoy Thanksgiving dinner at Churchill Downs, the site of the Kentucky Derby, and widely regarded as one of the most prestigious tracks in all of horse racing. Friday's game was against the Louisville team ranked number 24 in the country. The Cards walked away with a 91-38 win, and Eastern was still searching for its first win of the season going into day 2 of the tournament. On Saturday, the Panthers faced Bellarmine. Ava Stoller hit a 3 to give the Panthers a 14-point lead, their biggest of the game in the fourth quarter. And despite being outscored 17-8 the rest of the way, the Panthers held on for a 68-63 win over a Bellarmine team that had just 7 players available by the end of the game. Stoller finished with 21 points. The final game of the tournament was against East Tennessee State, and the Panthers were forced to play from behind for most of the game and lost 60-54. Tiny Lewis scored double figures in all 3 games of the tournament and has a current streak of 4 games straight, scoring 10 points or more. Men's basketball is currently 2-5, while the women are 1-7. Slated to close out the regular season in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the Panthers had an opportunity to shock the world and do teams like Miami, Vanderbilt, and Texas a favor by beating the Crimson Tide and knocking them out of the CFP. It was always going to be a tall order, though, and the Panthers' offense was outmatched in a 56-0 loss. Alabama outgained Eastern 539-34 in total offensive yards. The highlight, though, was the other side of the ball. The Panthers' defense grabbed 2 interceptions, one by Caleb Lyons and another by Dylan Conway. It marks the first time this season that Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson has thrown 2 picks in the same game. The Panthers finished the season with a 3-9 record, the same as last season, and on a 7-game losing streak. A few notable players that have already announced their intention to enter the transfer portal include quarterbacks Connor Wolf and Blaney Dowling, offensive lineman and team captain Nick DeSanto, and running back Jay Pearson. Finally, here's what's coming up this week. Volleyball has the first round of the NCAA tournament on Thursday against Wisconsin. If they upset the Badgers, they'd take on the winner of UTEP and North Carolina on Saturday. Men's basketball opens OVC action with a one-off game against Lindenwood on Saturday at Granagoo Arena. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. Women's basketball wraps up an 8-game road trip with a game at Illinois State on Sunday at 2 p.m. And finally, swim hosts its Senior Day meet on Saturday at 1 p.m. against Indianapolis. To stay up to date on everything going on in EIU sports, follow the Daily Eastern News on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, Threads, and YouTube, and check out our website, dailyeasternnews.com.